Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Nyla, Coach Nyla. Of course, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and OutstandingPersonalRelationships.com. And in this video, we are going to talk about bonding. Of course, so we've been talking about bonding in a number of different videos, especially because what we did for the month of August, we decided to call that the month of bonding. We actually used that as a theme for the month of August, or for this month of August, because as I'm recording this video, it is still August for maybe another week. So, but what I want to talk about in this video, I want to talk about bonding with your bonus children, or bonding with your children, period, but also bonding with your bonus children. And that's whether you're in polygyny, or whether you are married to somebody who has other children, outside of your marriage. So whether it was from a divorce, or a previous marriage, previous relationship, or in polygyny, is just your bonus babies, your bonus children. I call them bonus babies, bonus children. Got it from oddly enough, got it from Jada. I think I really got it from Jada, like years ago, probably like over 15 years ago, because in my first marriage, I had bonus children. My husband at the time, my ex-husband, my husband at the time had children from a previous relationship, and two from a previous marriage, and those were my bonus babies. And my son used to call my ex-husband his bonus dad when we were married. So, and we kind of got that, as I stated before, from like Jada, which is interesting because it's some things that's going on in their relationship, in Will and Jada Smith's relationship, and their union, or whatever they want to call it, that has, been, not as pleasant. And you just really see that it doesn't matter what walk of life, what your life looks like, and whether you're a celebrity, whether you are not a celebrity, whatever you are in your life and your relationships are, that doesn't make or break your relationship. Your celebrity status, your being famous or having a lot of money or anything like that, those are not the things that make your relationship. Is pretty much, how you are intentionally growing and working on your relationship, and if you guys are compatible. So they're going through their issues, or they were going through some issues, and it was all in the media, of course, with a lot of celebrities. A lot of the relationships is just brought out there. But I listened to them on a number of occasions, and they have really good information. They have good, not all of the information is good, and not all of everybody's information is good. We can make mistakes throughout our lives and the information that we give. However, the interesting thing is that people can have really good things to say, and they have really good tips and ideas and advice, and sometimes we don't use that advice to our, in our own lives. So yeah, so that doesn't mean, if your life is looking like crap, or your relationship is looking like crap, it's not that I tell people to, look at relationships that you want to have, and then kind of find out what they're doing, and then kind of do that thing. However, it's not always that cut and dry. You can kind of see that. But my thing is, if I look and I hear some really good information, and I apply that good information, because whether the person relationship is looking good or not, if there's some good information, when we know what good information looks like, we can take that. We can take it or leave it, or all that other good stuff. But anyway, said that, all that little, preface that to just say that, I got that information from them, or at least from Jada, because I remember her saying that. And I decided to utilize that, because when you say step, I don't know, for me, it causes this disconnect. And my thing is, I don't like disconnection within a family unit, within a family structure. I think that, bonds should happen, period. You should be able to bond with your bonus children. You should be able to bond with, your spouse. You should be able to bond with your co-wife if you're in polygyny. You should be able to bond with these people, because bonds make things stronger. So I believe that when you're bonding with your bonus children, it makes the relationship stronger, and it makes the relationship a lot less stressful, a lot less awkward, and all that other good stuff. So just a little bit about my bonding experience with my, in my previous marriage. My thing was that I want peace. And that's period. I want peace. I want the kids to experience peace. I love children, and I want children to feel welcome and wanted. I want children to feel like they have a voice and they have a say. And that doesn't mean that whatever you say is going to be the thing that makes or breaks or change anything, but you do have a voice, and your voice will be heard, and it will be considered. So that is how I bond with a lot of the people in my life, especially little people, and children and younger people, because of course, little people is used for, those adults who are short in stature. But I mean, like younger people, like children. So I decided that would be my go-to. That's how I would bond. I would create these bonds. One way of creating these bonds is being a trustworthy individual, period. That's what I want to do. And I want to put that out there to my children, my bonus babies, and let them know that I am not in any way trying to take over the role of their parent. So whether it's mom, dad, whatever, because sometimes even when it comes to, let's say mothers or stepmothers, bonus mothers or whatever, sometimes they could come in and the kids could feel that they're trying to not only take the place of mom, but take the place of dad, because dad is the person who tells, who lays down some rules and things like that. And then now you're here trying to, tell me what to do. So it's like, okay, how am I supposed to listen to you? But you establish trust. You do establish trust. That's kind of, I keep saying kind of, and it's not kind of. That's my thing. I think trust is a big, big issue, and a big, big factor when it comes to establishing bonds and creating these bonds. And my thing is, I want the children to be heard. I want them to know that, they're cared about, that their voices are heard, that I'm not in here, or I'm not coming in any way, shape, or form to try to tear up anything, to try to dismantle anything, or to try to take control over anything. My main thing is that we are a family. We work together. If there are any issues, you have the right to come. You are able to come to me. So that's that, in a nutshell. But a quick little story. One of the things I remember, and me entering into polygyny with Coach Nazir, was really an interesting thing, because it wasn't as easy as it was in my previous marriage. Because in my previous marriage, the children that he had from his previous relationship that were older, it was the point of the mom just wanted them to, make sure they consistently bond with their father. It was not a big deal. We didn't have any issues. She didn't have any jealousies. Her thing was, your relationship is your relationship. My relationship is mine. It is what it is. And I just want my kids to have a relationship with their father. I was fine. Never had any issues with it. They came by. We went bowling. We did different things. We connected very well. But he actually had younger children from his ex-wife. And I didn't bond with those children because they were very young still. And they were very young, and their mom and their dad didn't really see eye to eye. They still had issues. So if the parents are having issues, it's difficult for any type of incoming person to have a type of relationship or a connection, because it's a difficult situation, because you feel like you're caught in the middle, and these are their children. So they have to be able to fix their stuff before you can come in and be part of their lives. That's what I've experienced. So, and I really believe that. I believe that the parents of the children have to have a better relationship. Now, you can say what you want to the older, to the parents, to your spouse. Hey, this is what I want, done. I want us to be able to come to terms with these children having some peace in their life without us bickering, and we want to do everything for the betterment of the children. Okay, we are no longer seeing eye to eye. We are no longer together. And these are for people who are divorced. We're no longer seeing eye to eye. We're not in a relationship like that. So, but we still shouldn't let that interfere with how we raise our children. We should be able to co-parent properly, and we should be able to allow bonds to happen so they can have a great life, so they can have a well-rounded life, and they can have other people in their lives who love them. Simple as that. It sounds simple, but it's not just as simple, because there's other emotions and feelings and things like that. However, that part, was fairly simple. That transition into bonding with some of his children was fairly simple. The younger ones, not so much, but they were younger, so it wasn't anything that I felt like I had to connect with them in that way, shape, or form at that time. It was a point of where, okay, they can get themselves together, as far as the parents can get themselves together, and then we can move forward if that was the case. However, before any of that could happen, I was divorced, and that was not, that did not happen. I did not create these bonds because we weren't together anymore. We divorced, and I was a single mother, connecting with my daughter, connecting with my son. And later on, was involved in polygyny, got married into polygyny with Coach Nazir, and connecting with my bonus children was not as easy as I wanted it to be, or that I thought it would be, only because I had my own idea of what the transition was going to be like. And as it was stated before, in a number of videos, Coach Fatimah, my co-wife, she had to make her transition into accepting polygyny, and with that comes, the way that, what do we do with the children? Like, how do they connect? Are they going to connect? In what way are they going to connect? Just different things like that. So it wasn't a smooth transition, but the transition happened, and we worked on that transition. And I remember one of the things was that, the girls are older than they were older. They're older now. They're adults. Every single last one of them, all four of them are adults. And it's like, whoa, I remember when they were like much younger. But I wanted to have this connection. I wanted to have this connection with my bonus babies. I wanted to have connection with my co-wife, and trying to figure out how that could happen was just, going through trying to, first and foremost, connect with my co-wife. That was the thing, because what people don't understand, or maybe they do, is that the mother has a lot of influence on the kids and what the kids see and what the kids experience. So when it came to my children, I wanted to give them, I didn't want to give them any indication that there were any issues, that there were any problems. Whether or not they were or not, I didn't want the kids to have that. I didn't want the kids to feel that energy or feel anything like that. So they always knew from the jump that, like, we are a family. This is one big family. And they always looked to their my bonus babies as their siblings, period. It wasn't this is my this is my stepdad's or my bonus dad's kids or whatever. It was like, these are my brothers and sisters, period. It was no disconnect with them, because that's that part where I talk about, I don't like the disconnect when it comes to family. That's how I was raised. We are family. That's how that goes. And one day, the one breakthrough I remember, one of the breakthroughs I remember, because it was tension. It was tension throughout the years, even when it came to not just the children, but because they were good. They would be good with each other until there was a time when I think my daughter called one of her bonus sisters her sister, and it was corrected that, you know, that they weren't her sister, or, you know, something like that. And it was really difficult for me to hear that, or for it to come back to me, because my daughter was hurt behind it. And it was just that things didn't transition the way that I thought it could have transitioned better. And that was discussed and handled and everything like that. But the main thing was, it was like, okay, well, you know, it's just still awkward for them. So since it's still awkward for the other girls, that, you know, they couldn't see themselves in that place to call, you know, my daughter, you know, their sister. So, excuse me. So it was difficult to deal with that. It was difficult to deal with that for a second. And then it was just this different tension, the tension where I couldn't deal with the tension anymore. And I spoke to our husband about it, about, you know, wanting to be able to be, you know, I want things to be clear. I didn't want any back and forth where it was kind of like someone, what is the word? You know, like someone being the messenger back and forth. You know, I'm a firm believer of hearing things straight from the horse's mouth or just straight from the person, instead of, because some things can be lost in translation, and not on purpose. It just could be lost in translation. So one of the things is that I connected with one of the older, you know, the second from the oldest, you know, baby girl. And because she had like a lot, she not only does she has a lot of influence on her siblings, she is very, she's very, what is the word I'm looking for? She's really mature in the way that she handles things. Like she really thinks through how stuff should go. If she hears both sides, she can take out any of the emotion and look at the situation as how it is, instead of, you know, instead of putting a lot of the feelings into it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but the way she handles things is very diplomatic, I guess. I think that's the word I'm looking for. And I love that about her. And so but she has a lot of influence. And not only does she have a lot of influence, it's certain things that, you know, just wasn't clear. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to get some type of clarity on what's going on. And I want her to get some clarity as well. I have not really spoken to before this time that I'm speaking of now, I really have not really spoken to the children in a manner where it's like, okay, this is where I am. You know, this is who I am. This is where I am. This is, you know, why I'm, you know, in your life, so to speak. And next month in September, I'm going to be releasing a series talking about mistakes that I made in polygyny. So it's going to talk about, you know, one of those things is not speaking to the children as soon as I did, and or not being sooner than I did, not speaking to the children sooner than I did. So one of the things is I had a meeting with her, and pretty much we just talked, and it was just, you know, and I asked her, I'm like, hey, I want to talk to you about some things. I want to have like a serious conversation. She was open to it, and we had the conversation, and I let her know, like, you know, pretty much my role and, you know, my intentions, my different things, you know, in, you know, why I'm here for the most part, and that I'm not trying to take the place of their mom. None of these things, you know. And it was just really good. It was a good conversation. I asked her, you know, if she had anything to ask me. She's not a big talker. She's an introvert, so not a big talker, but she does know how to get her point across, as well as know how to express herself. And it was really good. And from that point on, the tension released. To me, it was like a lot of the tension really diminished because it was some clarity there. She knew where I was coming from. And as I stated before, she has a lot of influence on her siblings. And it wasn't the point of that she could just tell them stuff and they'll just be like, oh, okay. It's just that the way she can present things was in a way where it's like, okay, well, if she does it, if she is saying this, then okay, this will make some sense, or if she's saying this, then it's at least we should check it out, because we know that it's not super emotion based. It's, she thought through it and this is what she got from it. So, it was really good. So my thing is trying to establish these connections. And that was my thing, is clearing up, establishing a connection, clearing up any misconceptions, asking them, what they think about certain things, what they like, what do, are they feeling, that. And I'll say this at our family meetings. I'm like, hey, are you guys feeling that, are you feeling like I'm loving you enough? These different crazy things. I know it sounds so corny, but I want them to know that I'm here for them. I'm here for them. I'm not here to take away anything, to disrupt anything, or anything like that. And we've been a family for over 10 years. We've been a family for over 10 years now. So now it's totally different. It's not how it was before. And of course, that's what we tell people. Don't compare your chapter 1 to our chapter 10, because it took work. It took some stress. It took some getting over some things. It took some growth. It took a lot of that, and it took work, and it's still taking work, because I think that you should work every single day on building your bonds, work every single day on building your relationships. And first and foremost, establish that trust, establish that connection, because that's how you're going to build those bonds. But don't rush it. Don't rush it and don't force it. Those are the do's and don'ts, that I would give to you. Don't rush it, don't force it, but establish these bonds and give them space. So hope you guys got some great information from that. And make sure you are connecting with us, outstandingpersonalrelationships.com, and follow us on our IG at Outstanding Personal Relationship. On our IG at Outstanding Relationships. And YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, because sharing is caring. And also remember to practice GLC, grow intentionally, love fearlessly, and connect on a higher level every single day. Until next time, assalamu alaikum. Peace.